Hello and welcome back to the finish line and a Prix de Triomphe.
Try again.
Try it again.
The Prix de Triomphe.
Prix de Triomphe.
Even for you, that was a woeful effort, to be fair.
It's not the de l'Arc, it's the l'Arc.
Welcome to the Arc preview.
We just discovered that Dave did French at school, and it really should
pronounce everything.
Huh?
That's why he can pronounce everything.
Yeah, exactly. Fair play to him.
I did have a life before this podcast.
Like there's the second race now. I'm not even going to attempt.
I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll do it.
Right. So as this is the Arc preview, we are going to go through all the big races at Longchamp the weekend, and we will start with. Well, we know who's going to win this. The Prix du Cadran. Tom, just explain what happened today.
Tony Mullins broke our hearts. I think that's what happened today, isn't it?
I'm still not over that.
I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
If anyone doesn't know what happened, we have it up already. Just have a look. It's down here, I'd say.
Yeah, I wasn't. I had kind of hinted that might happen, but still, it's not nice to hear it come out of his mouth. But yeah, I mean, the way Tony was talking, he did say one bombshell that he said on that interview is that he thought she'd improved, and he actually said that just before the audio cut in. So he said it twice in there that he thinks she's improved from Galway. So that's interesting. He didn't need to say that. That kind of got my ears pricked a little bit. So I think, look, we know she handles soft ground. She should stay by the sound of things. Yeah, I mean, at the prices, you probably take a chance on her. You kill me for saying it, but if she's 7-2, probably she's a good each way back to nothing, you know.
Typical fencing, like Tom. But sure, look.
She's got one to beat, and then after that, she looks like she's probably best the rest of them. Sovereign's obviously in there. He's not a bad horse, but she's in form. So yeah, I think she should definitely be bang thereabouts, wouldn't she?
Like if anyone is not convinced on her yet, just genuine, go back and listen to the interview we had with him, and he convinced you down to the ground that she's going to win by about 6 lengths. He's so convinced, and he's so.
I did not that far. He kind of said.
He said everything bar. She's going to win.
He did, Tom. In all fairness, he broke it down fairly well with the ratings.
What he said was with the mare's allowance, it makes them about £3 off of the favourite in his book, and the favourite hasn't got. He doesn't think that the favourite has got to that mark while running on soft ground. He thinks his form isn't as good on soft ground, so he thinks they're about level. He didn't say she's going to go bolted by 6 lengths.
Yeah, but he also...
If you beat around the bush and read through the lines.
He also basically said, Tom, that she's going to be a Group 1 filly on the flat, so she's not going over hurdles now. And look, we have to protect her and all that. So he's all but saying she's going to win a Grade 1 on the flat. Like, so I think she's a certainty. I agree with Tom. If that's her type of thing, she's an each way bet to nothing. I think she'll win, but she doesn't really. She only has one horse to beat. Sovereign's a dog.
Yeah,
I can't stand that horse.
I think.
Me and Andrew are on at 8-1. I know some of the lads are on at 8-1, so that looks a great bet now. But I think she'll win.
Yeah, I'm not even going to add much to that. I think turns up, she wins. I was optimistic she was going to put up a good show, but after we had a chat with Tony today, I just can't see anything but a win. The way he was talking about her. We're on 8. She's 7-2 best price now with Paddy Power. Look, I won't put anyone off doing what Tom said back each way, because she genuinely only has called the win to beat, really. He was second in the last year. He's a beatable favourite. Yeah, he's not a world beater by any means.
He's hit or miss. Like he's not like some of the other stayers that they had in France. The Aga Khan one that started. His name started with V. I can't remember it, but he was up to like Ascot Gold Cup standards. That call the win does not.
Yeah, like I'd be more worried now if Naif Road was still entered in that.
Azirabad. That's what it was.
Azirabad, yes. One's everywhere. But yeah, I think Zoe will do the business on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd take Zoe, especially at the prices as well.
Yeah, Zoe for me as well.
There you go. Get your French into action there.
The Prix Royal.
Go on, take it away since you may as well go since you're
just getting me prices up, yeah.
Right,
look, I just find it's the time of the season where you're going to get kids coming in the middle of the podcast like always. But there you go. You're going to get some strange results in some of these races, and the ground is going to be a little bit hard work for some of the horses. It happens at Arc Week, you get a few strange results, and it happens at Champions Day at Ascot, you get a few strange results. I think this is a hard race to figure out. There's some decent horses if they turn up, and a Dame Malio is a decent horse. Miss Yoda, I think, like soft ground. But I'd give a chance to Joseph O'Brien's horse, Pista, if she turns up. I think she's a bit of improvement in her. Manuela de Vega is threatened to win a Grade 1 for God knows how long, but I don't know. It's a good each way race because the favourite's 4-1 stuff.
I think Manuel de Vega will be very hard to beat, especially if the ground is bottomless to soft. She's won a Group 2 and a Group 3 this year. She was beaten on both of them were on soft ground. One was at Haydock, where soft ground is practically heavy around there. She was beat by about 9 lengths then by Love at York, her last run, but that was on good ground. She never looked comfortable. I think she beat a horse called Macawy in the Lancaster Oaks by 5 lengths. That horse was also beat by Pista by 3 lengths. And then subsequently, that horse won on Saturday by 5 lengths. So the two of them tie in really well with form. But I think it comes down to ground. And I think it's between the two of them when I look through. But the ground is swaying me towards Manuela de Vega. And I think, as Dave said, look, 4-1, it's a tricky enough race. If you could take 4-1 each way, first 3 at quarter the odds, I think she would be placed at worst. Tom stops asking people on Skype.
No, I am just looking at the one I fancy. So you're Manuela de Vega, yeah. Look, I probably wouldn't knock that. Likes the ground. The favourite, I don't know. It was impressive at Doncaster, but it was still pretty green, and could have had a hard enough race that day, I think. Is Joseph going to want to bring her over here on soft ground? I'm not sure. I know she's still in the race or whatnot, but we'll see. One of my bets of the weekend, and probably it is my bet of the weekend, runs in this, which is Abeira, the Aga Khan horse. Really, really strong on this one. She's a lovely, lovely big filly, big high knee action, has won on soft ground, looks like she wants soft ground. She was second this first time out this year. She then went and won. She was then 6th in the Prix de Diane, where she was only beaten 3.5 lengths that day. She turned into the straight and she was right out the back. She pulled out wide and just galloped on. She looks like she's been crying out for this step up and trip. She won a Group 2 last time out. She gets 3 kilograms from Manuela de Vega as well because she's only a 3-year-old. She's 8-1 with Bet365. She's as short as 5-1 with Paddy Power. I have got a bit of the 8-1 from someone, so happy days. Yeah, I say she's my bet of the weekend each way in that.
Yeah, even on that form, I have down here. I was going to put up each way. Spirit of Appen, who finished second to the last. And I also think the step up and triple actually they heard of all the good in the world because she travelled very strongly through that race and she kept plugging away to the line, but she was never getting to Abina. But I think 60-1 is a fair price each way if anyone doesn't fancy getting the top ones. But it's a hard race to pick out the winner of it, really. Well, apart from Tom, who's absolutely.
I didn't think so. No, I think a Beira will go very well in that, lads.
Yeah, I'm strong on Manuel de Vega, especially with the ground.
Pista for me if she turns up.
Now, shall we hit on it now? Arc, Love, Fee and Abel. Who wants to go first?
Well, you know what? Tom was all over Love after she won the Oaks, and then he slowly drifted back to his bitch, basically.
Bitch.
Okay, so I was all over Love, and then I didn't realize at the time just probably how important good ground is to her. So then I started to say, actually, on soft ground she's going to struggle. To which I was told, stop being so pessimistic. She's a big, strong filly. She's grown up. She's improved as a 3-year-old. There's no ground problems whatsoever. Stop worrying about it. You're fine. By both of you. And now I know that neither of you are going to tip Love. So that's my rant over with before you start.
Let's tell the lovely listeners how much you have on Love, Tom.
Be people watching this. I had a chunky bet on Love at 4-1. I've laid off a little bit, and to be honest, as I was just, I can still lay out for a profit. So I don't really want to be on Love anymore. I don't think. I'd much rather my money on a Beira at 8-1. To be honest, and we've just found another bet now for later on in the card. So yeah, I'm probably going to lay all of my bet off, to be honest. Yeah, look, it's a shame it's not good ground because it would have been a very good race.
Who are you tipping before I start?
In this race?
Yeah.
Does it have to be Love being able?
No, it can be anybody.
Okay, so this is how I think it's going to play out. I was listening to or saw a quote from John Gosden, and he was just going through Enable's different arcs, and even her second win in the arc, he was like, you know, everything wasn't perfect. She'd missed some work, and we just held on that day. And he said last year, then, you know, I think the whole field went a bit quick in the ground, and she kicked on a bit too soon, and she's got caught. And she'd also had that incredibly hard race with Crystal Ocean last year. This year has all been focused around the arc. She wasn't disappointed. She was second behind Gaia, who was in fantastic form at the start of this year, when she definitely wouldn't have been fit. She's gone and dotted up twice then doing handstands. She still looks like she's in love with the game. I think they're going to ride her, and Frankie's going to be up there close, and he is not going to kick until he has to. I think he's going to try and hold and sit and save that kick that he knows he's got under Enable until right at the end.
So are you putting up Enable then?
No.
Christ.
Well, okay, she's my most likely winner. However, we're now at the stage where she's as short as 6-4 with Paddy Power. I'm not going to back her at 6-4. I'm going to cheer her on and really hope she makes history because I really love the mare. I think she's fantastic. To come back year on year, she's just brilliant. I'm going to cheer her on. I looked further down the list, and there's a lot of these that I was able to put a line through straight away. The one I landed on is a horse called Gold Trip, who is 50-1, which is a bit of a wild price, really.
Bit of a wild.
What's that?
Not and keep going.
In Swoop seems to be a bit of a buzz horse at the minute, right? And he's getting backed. He is as short as 12-1. Well, Gold Trip beat In Swoop hands down earlier this year, right? And in the last race in the Grand Prix de Paris behind Mogul, Gold Trip gets into second, is pushed along, and like a lot of them do in France, he eases down a little on him, and then In Swoop does him by a short head. I think he's got the beating of In Swoop, to be honest. I watched his run around. He was second first time out this year. He then won. He then went and won. I've lost the form now. But he got an awful run around in the. Hang on, it's coming back to me.
Jesus Christ.
This 10 minutes of my life, I'm not getting back.
This fella nearly died on Sunday, and he's dying a little bit more inside now.
Saturday.
Okay, yeah. He was second. He was second behind Port Gillamine, who's a horse I really like as well, but bombed out last day on his first start this year. He then
That's not
he
how
then
you,
won.
that's not how you pronounce it. It's not Port Gillamine, it's Port Guillaume.
Port Guillaume. All right, Mr. French expert.
John Dave.
He's then gone and beaten in swoop at Lyon, and then this was the race. He was then he in the Prix du Jockey Club. He tailed off, but he fell out the stalls. He was drawn 13. He was last after 100 yards. The jockey made an awful, stupid mid-race wide move around the outside. He was in front with a furlong and a half to go. He just had no chance. Just completely put a line through that run, and then he's finished. He's finished third then the next day, behind in swoop, but only beating a short head and getting beat by Mogul. That was off a 70-day break. Loves soft ground, stays well. Shouldn't really stay because he's by outstrip. But there's some staying horses on the dam side, so that must be where he gets his stamina from. Yeah, I think at 50 to 1, if you're looking for a random outsider, he's a good bet.
Are we done?
Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, you asked me what I fancy, and that's what I fancy.
No,
You just said a random. You just said a random outsider. That's not a fancy.
You fancy an Abel, and you just don't want to back her because she's.
No, I do. I think Gold. Okay, for one that's massively overpriced, it's Gold Trip.
All right.
There shouldn't be that much of a difference between him and him swoop at all.
There's a lot of these in here that haven't a chance. Tom is right on that. The Aidan O'Brien horses is hard to make head nor tails of what's going on. I think the Grand Prix de Paris was one of the worst Group 1s I've ever seen. They wanted Mogul to win a Grade 1 or Group 1, and he won one. Serpentine is an absolute lunatic front runner, and they held him up. And from the word go, I knew it was up. I think he's a good E-Trade bet, Serpentine. I think that he'll go from the front. Regards the Naval, I just never liked the Naval. I can't stand Frankie Dettori. I put him up last week, and he just done everything that I hate about him last week. He came out on Method, and fair enough, the saddle slipped, but he held Method at the back of the pack off a slow pace when all his other races, he just travelled behind the bridle up near the front. So that was the end of that. And then the one race that I didn't back in, and he was on the thing for Ray Beckett, he won. It's just, I can't make head nor tails of it. And then he comes out and says, I wasn't really trying because I didn't want to fall off in case I get injured and miss the ride in the Naval. So I was like that, right? The Naval is good for racing. But all I ever hear all the time is excuses for a Naval. She's injured. Oh, we're doing this with her. Oh, we need to wrap her up in cotton wool. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Say what you want about Aidan O'Brien. He dances every dance with the horses he has. If they get bet, he'll throw them in again, let them race again. Love, no stallion value in Love. She's a mare. I will put her up. I am worried about the ground because he said it himself. Her mammy is by Pivotal, who should realistically like soft ground. Pivotal as a sire gets loads of soft ground horses. Obviously Galileo would probably take more of the breeding side, and he has, because her mother was basically a sprinter, so she shouldn't really get 1 mile 4. But I think she's stronger than she was last year. There's no doubt she didn't run well in races last year when the ground was a bit soft or yielding. I think if she runs, it means I think she'll win. And I really hope she wins because I really love her, surprisingly enough. Her and Magical, And I will put her up. I will go for love.
That's sticking to her one. Right, my take on this. As you know, I'm probably the same with Enable. I've never taken to her. And hand on heart, I genuinely think she does not want to go through with her efforts anymore.
Why? Why? How would you say that?
Right. That race against Crystal Ocean hurt her. I don't care what anyone says. You can see even in the arc, she had that burst. This bullshit, they went too early. She didn't go too early. Nabel, that won the first arc, would have gone through with that effort and hit the line. She didn't. She crumbled up when she hit the front and she started remembering, shit, this hurts. I said it like, what horse were we talking about the other day that got injured? Or they remember.
We were talking about when Thistlecrack and Manny Clouds had that race, and Thistlecrack's never been the same, and sure it cost Manny Clouds his life.
Yeah, like they remember, and she won a Mickey Mouse race around Ascot this year. She won a Mickey Mouse race around Kempton, and she was beat by Gayat, where people are saying Frankie looked after her, but Frankie went to win the race at one station. She's 80% fit. She was much more than 80% fit. Just didn't go through with it again.
How would you know she was more than 80% fit?
When you're going to run a horse that's only 80% fit and risk her getting injured because she's not fully straightened up yet. That's just bullshit.
It's not. It's because it's hard to get them fit as they get older. So you have to give them more work.
26.
And that's why you run her.
Goyet's a good horse, but like the Enable of 4 and
she would have took her.
The Enable of maybe last year would have bet Goyet even at 80%. She was that good. Like.
She's not as good as she was. This is better than last year. If Love handles the ground,
I don't think this is better than last year. I know I've interrupted you. I just disagree with you. I just think she's put her head down. Like on their 2 wins now this year, she's gone and put her head down. She's lowered her head and she's galloped all the way to the line.
Tom, it's a piece of work.
Tom,
exactly. But you're saying she won't go through with it. But she's putting her head down and she is trying. Like so, she's still trying.
There's a horse. It's the same. This is for a different kind of perspective. It's like a horse that has a wind issue. They'll have the effort, but once they start feeling that they can't breathe, and the same with Enable when she feels I'm going through that pain barrier, they pull back. I
don't think you've any evidence of that with Enable though.
I just gave you one. On my this is my view on what I think. She Enable that won the first arc. She would have won last year if she was still the same horse she was. The race against Crystal Ocean did something to her. Mentally, it's after doing something to her. I genuinely think, as they say, if she was 80% fit, she would have taken care of Gayat because she was that miles better than the last one. She's a top class mare. She's probably one of the best mares we've ever seen in our whole lives. I've nothing against her. I just genuinely think she's not as good as she was. That's like, what more do you want me to say? Like, you love her, fair enough. I just think this is what's going to get her bet. I could turn out to look like an absolute dope. We should go and bolt up.
I don't mean to cut across Andrew, but Tom, you can't necessarily, and you can't be honest in thinking that her 3 races this year, that form was good enough to win an arc.
I don't think she's had to beat much. I think I'll happily take that she wasn't fit enough. She ran exactly like that.
Whatever about not beating much. People are questioning what Love beat. Beating Sovereign and Japan in that Mickey Mouse race at Ascot and the Mickey Mouse race around Kempton. That's not good enough for him to win an arc.
Yeah, but you can't put up Love and then talk about form for an arc because Love does not have the form to go and win an arc. Like not a second.
You can't say Enable has the form this year either. You're basing it on the stop ground.
Enable has the back form to go and win an arc because we know she's gone and done it twice already, right? And she's come second in another one. She's then gone and finished second first time out. She's then annihilated 2 weak fields. That was at Ascot in the King George. That was the fastest time that she'd ever won that race in the last 2 and whatever furlongs, and she wasn't even pushed out that hard. She's been trained for one race and one race only.
Do you not think Love would absolutely kick the living daylights out of Sovereign as well? Like,
I'm sure she would.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm sure she would. I'm agreeing with you. I'm sure she would. I'm sure she would beat Sovereign, yeah. But the fact is, like, Love has beat nothing. We can't, like, Love has beat nothing. And Abel's form is 1,000,000 times better than Love's. So, and I don't know. I don't get it that she's not trying anymore. I'm
not saying she's not trying. I never said she's not trying.
She's never reached the same mark as she did that day against Crystal Ocean, and she won't either.
Well, she did. She reached a higher racing post rating the next time that she ran in the Yorkshire Oaks against Magical, which, you know, she bolted up that day. It wasn't like she had the Crystal Ocean race and then went to the Arc and then that happened. Like, she went and hammered Magical in the Yorkshire Oaks and then went to the Arc. I just think those two races put together and then going into the Arc on soft ground and going too early, that's why she got caught. I just think this time you'll see him sit and hold that gear until she's got it.
Hope you don't fall off. You nearly fell off, mate.
Right, so you're putting up this case for an Abel. Why aren't you keen on her winning, though? She thinks she's so far ahead of everything else in the field.
I am. I do think she'll win. I'm just saying, like, she's a short 6-4. She's best price 7-4. I've no interest backing her in that. I'll happily just she's a horse I'll cheer on. I've no interest backing her. I'll have a small each way play on Gold Trip 4 places. But yeah, I've no interest backing her.
Right, so my take on Love then. I think she's a super filly. She's been super impressive. I think I don't know how much rain is coming during the week. I think a proper soft, she might get away with it. On bottomless heavy ground, Toesti's Chase Day, I think the both of them get back. I genuinely think there's going to be a mad result in this if the rain comes as they say they are. And I'm going to throw out Japan at 33-1. He was 4th last year, beating 4 lengths. His best form is a bit of giving the ground. I know he's been whooped by Enable twice, but I think his best performance was when he beat Crystal Ocean, and his second best performance ever was at Longchamp last year in the Arc. He's 3 lengths to find it Magical. I think he can at least find 2 if at worst. And I think 33-1 is too big for a horse. I think it's just been absolutely trained for this day and this day only this year. Again, form on heavy, form on soft ground. I wouldn't put anyone off 33-1. He's a proven Group 1 horse, and there's a lot of horses in this are not proven at all. And I think 33-1 is way too big for him. That's my take. But I think if it comes up genuinely heavy ground, I think the front 2 are better.
I can't believe you just put Japan for that.
What?
You know what? He's such an enigma of a horse.
I tell you, there's something mad going to happen. And I think it's the madness that he's going to run a huge race. I think there's so much talk about Love and Enable. Like last year, Enable, she's going to go for 3 in a row. Something that had no right to win it is going to win it.
Well, she was at a smashing bag, guys. A good few lengths. But sure, look, that's the way it goes.
I don't get how you hate Enable so much and then you're willing to go up Japan.
I don't hate Enable. I just can't take her. There's nothing wrong with that.
She's a class filly. Like, she's done it day in, day out. Like, her form.
It's the same way you really like Percent Percy. I just can't take to him. He's a good horse, no doubt. Okay, he's not.
He is. Yeah, he's a good horse, but like Japan's had 4 runs this year. He's been beaten a total of 31 lengths combined.
Yeah,
I can't.
I just think there's going to be something absolutely mad happen because the way the ground is.
Yeah, and I'll buy that. Yeah, I can see that. I just don't know why you're so down on Poor Enable and then Japan.
Start off with Poor Enable. She gets enough credit.
Like, it's the whole ground. If it comes bottomless, like, I guarantee you the 2 of them won't win it. It'll be something that's an absolute plodder, slogging through it, coming the last 2 furlongs and just stays on past them.
What do you think? I remember when Stradivarius.
He hasn't a hope. He's a 2 mile horse. I remember when a neighbour was going for her first arc as well, and don't get me wrong, I never took to her. But all the same stuff was being said about a neighbour. Oh, what she beating, because she's going against 3-year-old fillies. Like, can you even name some of the fillies she bet? Rhododendron was one of the ones that came out of the Oaks and won a Group 1. But she actually won the Group 1 at Arc Weekend, so she hadn't won anything up to that. Like, I love Cody beat the 3-year-old fillies that she's going against.
My other, and I'd be interested to hear your views on this, guys, is my other worry about Love is Aidan O'Brien's record in the race. He's only won the race twice, and both times he's won with 4-year-olds. If you think of all the good 3-year-olds Aidan O'Brien has ever had, all the Derby winners, all of them, they've never won Arcs.
I don't think he's ever had a filly of the caliber that Love is.
Yeah, but he's had gelding, hasn't he? Like, he's had colts.
Yeah, he's had colts. Like, some of his other good colts, they didn't even go for the Arc. Like, the Camelot didn't go for it, I don't think. One or two others. So,
Tom just mentioned one there. I just want to touch on Stradivarius. I'd give him a chance. I don't think he has no hope. I think he is very classy horse. He ran a nice race behind Anthony Van Schuyt the last day. I think his stamina could bring him into the picture big time. I think his price is stupid now. It's 6 to 1, 7 to 1. His price is stupid now. At 14, I'd be a lot more interested in him. But I'd give him a chance with his stamina coming into play if. Again, with the ground.
Strada's a dude. He'll run his race. And there's been a couple of good stairs actually placed in this. Order of St. George was 3rd and then was 4th. And I can see Strad coming 3rd or 4th maybe if they go hard. But Order of St. George was a 20 to 1 shot that year. I think he came 3rd.
Yeah.
Strad is the one. The price is so off. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. But I think that shows, like, the lacking strength and depth of the race, that he is now 6. Like, he was the obvious place play at 14s, and he's now 6s. He's too short, but yeah, as you say, Dave, I can see him finishing 3rd or 4th. Yeah,
that was an enjoyable little rant off all of us. Right, final selection.
We don't agree.
Love for me.
Japan each way.
Enable for the win and Gold Trip each way at 50s.
Right. We will head on to
the Prix de la Forêt.
Thank you. This looks like a good little race. We've one master who won the last 2 years in a row. We Dream of Dreams, who's in the Farmer's Life, and Earthlight is clear favourite. Tom, have you found anything to beat Earthlight in this?
Again, like, it's so boring, but I think the obvious play again is going to be one master each way, 7 to 2. Just 100% record at the track. Has won this race for the last 2 years. Goes on any ground, like Seth Furlong's. Has been really tough and consistent this year. She's just going to be bang there, isn't she? Earthlight. I mean, yeah, look, he was the superstar horse, wasn't he, in France, or one of them. There's Victor Ladorum as well. Yeah, I could probably see him winning, but do I want to play him at 13 to 8, 7 to 4? No. I'd rather take one master each way and have my 3 places. It's going to be interesting to see what turns up, because as you go down the field, you've got like Safe Voyages in there, probably a bit short for me. Dream of Dreams, Shishkin, Lopi Fernandez, Wichita, Hello Zoomzane. There's a whole host of good horses. You wouldn't imagine they're all going to turn up. So,
no, I'm the same view as you. I can't see one master being out of the top 3. I'd be interested if Dream of Dream comes over. He seems to be in the Farmer's Life. He's won 2 Group 1s last time, won at Newbury, won at Haydock at soft ground. And as we know, soft ground at Haydock is proper soft. He's about 6 to 1. I like him each way as well, but at going back to one Masters, 100% record at the track, won this last 2 years in a row. You'd presume he's been trained for this, and he's going to be revved up to the last for this. Sorry. Yeah, so I think she is a great bet at 7-2.
I don't think Artlight is truly trained on. He's not what I think most people thought he was going to be this year. And I said it maybe in a video about a month ago that this is just going to be set up for one Master again. It's not often the three of us agree, but look, it's an obvious bet. She's won it 2 years. And this 7 furlong Group 1 is a real specialist distance. And she wants to heavy, soft border on heavy, and she just outstays some of the other 7 furlong horses. Then it's a real specialist distance. If Dream of Dreams comes over, I'd actually back the forecast, her and him in a forecast.
I think, Dave, I was just looking at Earthlight there as well, and as you say about him training on, I don't think there's another horse that has had 3 runs in his 3-year-old career that I'm still not sure if he's trained on or not.
It's hard to head or tails with him anymore now.
It's good the first day. Really disappointed then the second day against Space Blues, and then was good against, but only beat Trobeau, who was, you know, on the comeback trail herself. So yeah, I'm just not convinced by Earthlight. No, I'm certainly not going to be backing him at a short price anyway.
No, I think he's one of the ladies of the weekend. I'm not convinced of him at all. I think one Master's a cracking bet for this. I think she'll win, if I'm honest.
As we said, though, Dream of Dreams is the other one. I think we've hit on the 2 definitely you want on your side against the field of those two.
Yeah. All agreement, one Master. Why am I'm running for graphics again?
Yeah.
Right. The last one we'll touch on in France is the Prix de l'Abbé. Yes. Dare we take on Batash, Dave?
This sprint really comes down to the draw. The draw can be massive in this, but I would 100% take on Batash. He won it 3 years ago. I think it was one of his best performances at the time, but he's bombed out the last 2 years. I'm not even sure they'll bring him over, to be honest. I think he'd be better off going to America. Glass Slippers is the one for me. She's not as big as she was at the Curragh, and she's not as big as she was last year. But it's her time of the year. She won it last year at a crazy price. Kevin Ryan is good with training sprinters. She likes soft ground, heavy ground. I think she's a great each way bet at 4-1.
Tom, how do you make of it? What do you make of it?
Pretty much the same as Dave, actually. I think this is another one of those each way bet to nothing races. There's a few of them this weekend. This is another one with Glass Slipper. She's been in good form. She won the Group 1 well last time at the Curragh. Batash, I just like, he's electric when he's good. I just never know with him though, and there'd be so many more better horses at that kind of price to back than Batash in a Group 1.
He's not a horse you want to roll in with 7-4, especially with his record around Longchamp.
It's a bit like Earthlight. Like, would it surprise me if he went and won well? No, it wouldn't. Do I want to back it at that kind of price? No chance. I agree with Dave. I'd love to see him go to America.
Imagine him around the bend.
I think around the bend, 5 furlongs in America, he'd be just a sight to behold, to be honest.
Yeah, then they say it blunts your speed a little bit, I think, but because you've got to run around a bend rather than just bolting in a straight line. But
imagine him traveling behind a lead horse, because they go so fast in America, and then kicking off the bend. I think it'd be amazing to watch.
I'd love to see it. Yeah. Again, I wouldn't back him, but I'd love to see it.
Is there any talk about?
They're humming and hawing. Look, I don't think going heavy ground at Longchamp suits him anyway. That's what it's been the last few years, and he's bombed out both times.
I think
that's what might sway them to go, is the bottomless ground at Longchamp.
Again, it doesn't really matter with Batash. He got him clipped a good while ago because he was too horny. So he's no stallion value. But look, I think what's best for the horse, they should give it a try in America, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to be boring as well. I agree with the two lads. There's a lot of account closer each way bets this weekend. Glass Slippers again. She won this last year. She bolted up by 3 lengths last year actually, and she won a group. What was it? Group 2?
Group 1.
Group 1 at the Curragh last week or the week before, beating Keep Busy. She's in flying form. She likes Longchamp. I think it's an account closer 4-1 each way, but yeah, that's 3 for Glass Slippers.
Look, she's proved now that it wasn't a fluke last year, and you can back her with a bit more confidence.
You can kind of go into her races now. You can kind of figure out, right, this is the day she's going to peak.
Towards the end of the season, she seems to come alive.
Right, that's the arc done. We will have a little touch on a bit of jumps. 2 Cheltenham Festival winners are entered to make their season debut the weekend. Put the Kettle On is entered in the PWC Champion Chase at Gorn Park over 2 mile 4. And Tom's Fancy for the Champion Hurdle, St. Roy, is entered in the Horse and Jockey Hurdle at Tipperary. We start with Put the Kettle On. How do we think she'll get on this year? And first off, 2 mile 4 around Gorn on this ground. She hardly want that really, no?
I don't know. It's the start of the season, so there'll be a few strange results, and a lot of horses will be coming out to get fit. I'm just looking forward to seeing them both of them, to be honest. I'm very much looking forward to seeing St. Roy. I do think he's a good outsider for the Champion Hurdle. I think that was a good show by Tom. Yeah,
I'm the same. With Put the Kettle On, I don't think she lacks fitness if she does wrong, because Henry seems to aim as good. He's good 2 mile chaser at this. The size in Europe, used to mop up with this every year. I think if she it'd be interesting to see how she runs. I won't back well, depend on price. But yeah, St. Roy, I'm really looking forward to. Tom has literally have to talk me around from 20s, and I'm going to have a bit each way on him for the Champion Hurdle before he runs on Sunday, because as we talked last week, if he runs a Bolton on Sunday, he's going to be half the price at least, I'd say. Really looking forward to seeing him, Tom?
Yeah, I am. I was saying to you guys just before we came on, I've watched his county hurdle win about 5 times this evening, and he's just electric. Like, he's keen the whole way around. He's a bit wide the whole way around. He comes to the last absolutely tanking, along with another 3 horses. And as soon as Barry goes for him, he just quickens clear and goes on. That was only his 3rd run in the UK and Ireland. There could be so much to come. And I saw Ruby Walsh put him up as one of his dark horses for the season, and said he thinks he could progress into a very nice horse. They said the reason they fancied him was he did a really good piece of work up at the Curragh. That sounds like he did that with a Grade 1 horse. So you'd imagine it might have actually been Aramon if they'd have run in the same race, the more you think about it. So if he's going to beat Aramon off level weights or something like that, then yeah, I think he's a really good bet for that wide open Champion Hurdle. I'm not going to judge Goshen too much on that flat run, but it does show that he is still human, So let's not get ahead of ourselves. But no, St. Roy 20-1. If you fancy him for the Champion Hurdle, I'd back him before the weekend, because if he goes and wins, it's classic bookmakers. They'll cut him 12. I can see him being 12-1 kind of job. So yeah, have a few quid on if you fancy.
Yeah. So right, we get down to the most important part. Naps and.
Are we doing the Group 1 at Newmark? Sun Chariot.
We have to.
Do we have to?
Who wins the Sun Chariot?
Who are you, bro?
Peaceful wins it. She reversed the farmers.
I know we need to spend that. I'm going to give Quadrilateral a chance each way. I think she's too big a price at 16-1. Roger Charlton's horses are more informed now than they were, and he's given her a few excuses. And if the excuses, like she had the issues with her teeth and stuff, are true, I give her a go. I think she was only kind of coming out the last day for a little run, and this was the plan. So I think 16-1 is too big. But I'd love to see her lead from the front. I can't stand this holding her up because she's a lunatic, Frank.
Tom?
I hate that horse. I'm just done with her now this year. I'm a really big fan of Peaceful, but Champers at least was really impressive at the Curragh, and I think the key thing here is clearly improving, and a bit like Princess Zoe, it's where will that improvement stop? I'd love to see Johnny Murta get a second Group 1, especially over in Newmarket. I think she'll be tough to beat, to be honest.
Right, I may as well elaborate on it. My reason behind putting up Peaceful against Champions Elysee. Champions Elysee has run 4 times since June, and her last 2 runs were in the space of 10 days. And now she's only have just over 2 weeks to get over that. Where Peaceful had a break of 69 days and had that first run back. I'm expecting Peaceful to come on again from that run, and I'm expecting like Champions Elysee is going to catch up soon enough running in her style, where she does come off the pace and absolutely gives it everything she has to come flying. So there's not much between them, but I'll take 4-1 Peaceful to reverse the form. That is my reasoning behind that. Now, Naps, next best account closer each ways.
My nap is Princess Zoe. My next best is Glass Slippers, and I won't do it each way. I'll do a forecast, like I said, One Master and Dream of Dreams.
Tom?
My nap is a Beira each way. A Beira each way.
Okay.
Can that be a nap? It's not really a nap, is it?
Yeah, we leave it.
I bought this. I did this the last week with alcohol free. Like, alcohol free should have been my nap last week, and I was like, oh no, it's 10-1, so I'll go each way.
You know why that is?
Pessimism.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am sometimes.
Commit.
I'm gonna go. Now back each way, guys, but nap a Beira each way. The race that we didn't touch on there was the Prix Daniel Wildenstein, and the Reverend, a French horse, has got a tremendous record when fresh. He's been off for a year, but don't worry about that. I don't think he'll be trained to the minute. It's not a great race. If you've got a William Hill account, they're currently 3-1, and Paddy Power 6-4. They're the only 2 bookmakers with the market up for them. If you can get 3-1 the Reverend, get on. That would be my next best. And my each way, I'm going to go Gold Trip in the Arc, 50-1 wild price. But there's just 2 things. There's some really good muggy each way bets this week. So get on those muggy each way bets. And the other thing is, an interesting angle is you can bet on the tote pools with Bet365, as in not the tote pools, the PMU over in France. Okay. The French will traditionally back their own horses. So you'll see a lot of the UK and Irish horses will be a bigger price on the PMU. And when you go on to, I'm sure others do it, but Bet365 definitely do. You can click on pools and you can bet on the PMU prices. And on the foreign horses, they're generally bigger prices. So just a little angle for you to keep an eye on.
Cool. My nap is Princess Zoe. My next best actually runs in Gorn Park on Friday in the listed bumper, and it's Elise a Lady for Pafahi. I think she's a great chance of winning that. My each way is Japan at 33-1 for the Arc. They're my 3. Yeah, so that is our Arc. I'm tired. My God.
See you Sunday, Tom.
Yeah, we're going. Oh, I was going to say anyone want to come, but there's restrictions, so we can't.
You'll see me. I don't know. I was a shook man after this Sunday. I went out for a few pints for the first time since March.
I don't want to hear it, Tom.
You're coming. 12 o'clock.
I'm coming. It was tough, though.
Okay.
Can we just give our horse a quick shout out?
Yes, we can. Of course we can.
Horse. Did you like that? Our horse?
We've reviewed Shauna. Sean, we call her after Tom's missus.
Oh, we're not calling her Siobhan. No, it's too many of them around. My sister and my girlfriend are called Siobhan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that must be awkward in the text situation.
Girlfriend.
Spelled differently.
Oh.
I thought she's your fiance.
Fiance, sorry, yeah. I haven't ditched that just yet.
Oh,
that's the wedding off.
But yeah, we're gonna call her Shauna, are we? Yeah. But yeah, Shauna Outzicht. I still can't say it. Nat is giving me some hard time over it. But Shauna Ausicht is her name. She's over in Henry saw her the other day. She's in the isolation yard just for the week, as they do them all, just make sure they're okay. He said he really likes her. She's a lovely scopy filly and can't wait to get her jumping, really. So, yeah, glad he likes her. We've still got about 25% left, I think. That will be gone quickly. I have a couple of lads coming back to me. So if you're interested in the share, Andrew will put the email in the description.
Which email do you want up?
What's that?
Which email do you want up?
Oh, any. Put the Pimlico one up. But yeah, as we've always, how we do it, guys, is there's a budget for the first 6 months, financial statement then given to everyone. So you only pay for what it costs to have your horse in training. That just is the best way to do it. That's the future of syndicates, if you ask me, and that's the way we're going to go forward with it. And yeah, shares are from €375 and then €70 a month per 2.5% share. So, and any money that's not spent, you get your money back. So can't say fairer than that. And
there will be no social media people hanging on the coattails of this, taking percentages out of things, and this is all done proper. Not like
it is though. Like a lot of these syndicates out there are banging on about I'm not going to get into this now, but banging on about the future, banging on about the future of racing syndicates and whatnot. And what they are is, people don't realize, is they're not racing syndicates. They're companies. They're companies that you pay to have a share in a horse. What we are doing is a proper racing syndicate. You literally own the horse. You own the horse. You only pay for what you get, and we take a management fee that's there, black and white, for everyone to see. So, it's your horse. It's the same as you and 5 of your mates getting together and go and buying a horse and just paying someone to run the syndicate for you. You full ownership of it. All your prize money, any money that's not spent, you get back. And any sales proceeds of the horse you get yourself as well. So, there's a lot of scrutinization going on at the minute in the UK and in Ireland about syndicates. And I think there's got to be a lot more regulation around them. HRI are like pushing it to be run the way we are. But I'd say we're one of 2 in Ireland, I think, being run this way. So,
all roads lead to Cheltenham to beat Princess Zoe in the Mares and Novice Hurdle.
All right, well, yeah. If she goes, road's even clearer now, isn't it?
That's true. Get a price. We have to back her just for the crack.
Yeah, we get a price.
We need to get a price on her just for the crack. Yeah. So that is our ARC preview done for this week. Next week, hey, guess what? Jumps are back. Chepstow's first jump meeting of the season is back. We will be previewing all the big races and even the small handicaps. Who cares? Jump racing's back. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.